Hello friends, myself Dr. Rajendra Balasaheb Kakade, Assistant Professor at Department of Botany, Swami Vivekananda Senior College, Mantha, District Jalna. Welcome to my YouTube channel Raj Botany. Friends, today I will talk on a very important topic, that is DNA replication, that means DNA multiplication. We will see the importance of DNA replication, why it is important as far as the living organism is concerned. When cell duplicates or cell divides, whether it may be by mitosis way or meiosis way, DNA must be replicated or must be duplicated or must be multiplied. That ensure each newly forming cell receives the correct number of the chromosome. Because when we say DNA will replicate, at the same time chromosome will also replicate, because in the chromosomes DNA is present. This process that take place in all the living organism, which is the basis for biological inheritance. DNA replication is very vital or important for cell growth, repair and reproduction in the organisms. Let's see the definition of DNA replication. It is the process of cloning of DNA molecule. It is actually biomolecule in which each strand of DNA molecule act as a template. There are two strands of the DNA which are running anti-parallel to each other, and both strands are act as a template that guide the synthesis of its complementary strands. The cell cycle, deliberately I have put the picture of the cell cycle here. That means we exactly know at which stage of the cell cycle DNA replication take place. Here we can see the different stages of the cell cycle, M phase, and this is the interphase. Three phases in included into the interphase: G1, in the S phase, and G2 phase. During the S phase, that means the synthesis phase, DNA get replicated or DNA get multiplied. Here we can see, here is the cell. Inside the cell nucleus is there and the single copy of DNA. But in the S phase, here you can see the double copy of the DNA that is carried forward during G2 phase, and cell enter into the M phase, and there is a distribution of this synthesized DNA or multiplied DNA. DNA replication. In DNA replication, one double-stranded DNA molecule produces two identical or two similar copies of that parent molecule. DNA replication, as far as eukaryote is concerned, it is take place inside the nucleus, and it is take place in the following steps: initiation, elongation, and termination. Let's see one by one. Firstly, initiation. DNA replication starts at a specific point on a template strand called at the origin of replication. Here is the origin of replication, which is also called as the initiation point. As far as the eukaryotes are concerned, there are several initiation points on which DNA replication is initiated, and they are all known as replication fork. Here we can see this is a replication fork which give the inverted Y-shaped appearance to the DNA molecule, and here is the fork movement. It is actually the bidirectional movement. Here in this direction also fork can move, and in this direction also replication fork can move, means bidirection movement of the replication fork. Let's see the enzyme pattern or initiation process. As we mentioned earlier, the helicase enzyme that unwind the double helix. Here we can see this is the action of the helicase enzyme that actually break the hydrogen bonds which are formed in between the nitrogenous bases. This helicase molecule break the hydrogen bonds, and during the breakage of these hydrogen bonds, the tension gradient created ahead of the replication fork. At this point, tension get created, and that tension is released by the enzyme called topoisomerase. That topoisomerase, what topoisomerase do? For some time, this topoisomerase create a temporary nick in the helix are made, and due to the making of this temporary nick, the tension get released, and After some time, the nick get sealed back to avoid the permanent damage. Helicase enzyme, very important enzyme. As far as the unwinding of the DNA is concerned, helicase enzyme moving forward direction and break the hydrogen bonds. Additional to that, during initiation, DNA primase enzyme, here we can see the DNA primase enzyme that synthesize the small RNA primers. Primer is very important as far as DNA replication is concerned, because the primary fixes at point where DNA polymerase will work. Means RNA primer give the guidelines or give the direction for the functioning of the DNA polymerase enzyme. Let's see the next, replication fork. A very important point as far as the replication of DNA is concerned. The replication fork, here we can see the replication fork, and here is the topoisomerase attachment. In previous slide, we have discussed the function of this topoisomerase, that releases the stress or supercoiling of the DNA molecule in front of the replication fork. Replication fork is formed during the DNA strand unwinding by the helicase enzyme, which exposes the origin of replication. There are several sites of origin that represent the replication fork. Here we can see, after the unwinding of the two strands of the DNA molecule, here is the attachment or binding of the proteins called as SSB, or single stranded binding protein. Then what this single stranded binding protein do? They avoid the coiling back of this DNA molecule, because the DNA molecule have the tendency to recoil back. So due to binding of these single stranded binding molecules, that prevent the coiling or recoiling of this DNA molecule back. Each separated strand acts like a template. This is a separated strand and this is a separated strand. Now each strand acts as a template for the synthesis of new complementary strands. Complementary in the sense, the pairing between the complementary nitrogen bases which are present on the DNA molecule or DNA strands. The replication fork moves in the direction of the new strand synthesis. Replication fork is moved in the direction at which the new strand gets synthesized. Two sides of the new DNA strands, leading and lagging strand, are replicated in two opposite directions from the replication fork. Two sides of the new strands which are replicated in two opposite directions from the replication fork. Therefore, replication fork is bidirectional. Means at the two sides there is a synthesis of the strands, or we can see there is a presence of the replication fork. Let's see the elongation. After having the initiation process, let's move forward for the elongation process. Along the template strand, primers synthesize a short RNA primase, that is enzyme that synthesize short RNA primer at the beginning of the template in 5' to 3' direction. Here we can see this is a RNA primer. That RNA primer actually guide the action of the RNA polymer or DNA polymerase enzyme. RNA primer work under the RNA primase enzyme, which initiate the DNA polymerase to continue synthesizing new nucleotide that extend the new DNA strand. This RNA polymerase actually attract the new nucleotide which are already present in the nucleoplasm. Remember, DNA replication is take place as far as eukaryotic cell is concerned. DNA replication is take place into the nucleus, and into the nucleus, nucleoplasm is there, and the required nucleotides are provided or attracted from the nucleoplasm for the extension of the new strands. RNA primer which gets attached to the 3' end of the template, strand, and attract the complementary nucleotides from the surrounding nucleoplasm. That RNA primer attached at the 3' end of the template strand, actually at the replication fork. The replication fork of the template strand means at the 3' end of the template strand, RNA primer is attached, and by that position, from that position, RNA primer attracts the complementary nucleotides which are already present into the surrounding nucleoplasm. One of the template reads in the 3 to 5' direction, and therefore the DNA polymerase synthesizes the new strands in 5' to 3' direction, and that strand is known as leading strand. And remember, this leading strand is formed in a continuous way. There is no gap in between formation of this leading strand. Here we can see the extinction phenomenon as far as the DNA replication is concerned. Here is the addition of the new nucleotides. Here is A is there. T, A means a nitrogen base adenine that is attached or attracted by the thymine base, thymine nitrogen base, and the triple bond get formed between adenine and thymine, and hence extension phenomenon in replication moving forward or going on. The other template, that is 5' to 3' is elongated in an anti-parallel direction by the addition of short RNA primers which are filled with other joining fragments, forming the newly formed lagging strand. And remember, this newly formed lagging strand is formed in a fragmented way, and these fragments are called as Okazaki fragments. Here we can see there is a formation of lagging strand, and these are the fragments or Okazaki fragments. And here is a primer, and this is a primerase enzyme which control the function of the primer, and this primer attract the surrounding nucleotides which are already present into the nucleoplasm, and such a fragmented way that lagging strand is get produced, and these fragments are called as Okazaki fragments. The synthesis of the lagging strand is discontinuous since the newly formed strand is disjoint, means that newly formed strands are not attached to each other, or newly formed fragments are still in a fragmented condition. They are not joined with each other. The RNA nucleotides from the short RNA primer must be removed before the attachment of that Okazaki fragment. That RNA nucleotide or RNA primer must be removed and replaced by the DNA nucleotide that is controlled by the enzyme called DNA polymerase first enzyme. And later on, these Okazaki fragments, after the removal of RNA primer by the DNA polymerase, these Okazaki fragments are joined by the enzyme called DNA ligase. DNA ligase, that is actually the gluing enzymes. Let's see the formation of leading and lagging strands. Here we can see leading and lagging strand. Firstly, primase, which actually play the vital role and that guide the function of the DNA polymerase enzyme. Here we can see the DNA polymerase enzymes, and here is the formation of leading strands in a continuous way into the 5' to 3' direction towards the replication fork. And this is a lagging strands. This is a lagging strands. Lagging strands is formed in discontinuous way, where also the primase is also there, and primase that give or that regulate the function of the primer, and at each fragment new primer is required. At each fragment new primer is required, and these fragments we can see each fragment is synthesized in 5' to 3' direction but away from the replication fork, and these fragments are called as Okazaki fragments. Lagging strand, as we discussed earlier, the leading strand can be extended from one primer alone, means as far as the synthesis of the leading strand is concerned, only one RNA primer is sufficient. But for the synthesis of the lagging strand, each time the new primer is required. Okazaki fragments later joined by the enzyme called ligase. Yes, we have discussed it earlier. Then let's move toward the termination phenomenon. We have discussed up till now the how leading strand and how lagging strand is get formed. Now we proceed toward the termination. After the synthesis and the extension of both continuous and discontinuous strands, means continuous strand, leading strand, discontinuous strand, lagging strands. An enzyme known as exonuclease removes all RNA primer from the original strand. Exonuclease means DNA polymerase first enzyme that removes the RNA primers. But primers are replaced with the right nucleotide bases. While removing the primers, when the process of removing the primer is take place, another type of exonuclease that proofread the new strands, and what that new exonuclease do, that check, remove and replace any error formed during the synthesis. Here we can see wrong nucleotide get paired. Here is a strand, template strand, cytosine nitrogen base is there, and it is expected that as far as cytosine is concerned, guanine should be there, but instead of guanine, adenine is attached. So this is a error, and this error is replaced by exonuclease enzyme. Here we can see the removal of incorrect base from the newly formed strand, and this activity is called as exonuclease activity, and there is a addition of correct base, cytosine paired with the guanine, addition of the correct base. Very important phenomenon, that is a replication of telomere. Telomere, it is present at the end of the chromosome. At the end of the parent strand consists of the repetition of DNA sequences, and that DNA sequences are known as the telomeres. Telomeres are actually the repetition of the DNA sequences which act as a protective caps at the end of the chromosome. This is the DNA, this whole, so this is a chromosome, and at the tip portion of the chromosome, telomere is there. And what that telomere do, that prevent the fusion of the nearby chromosomes. Chromosomes present inside the nucleus, there are many chromosomes, but still that chromosomes are not attached to each other. Why? Because at the end of the each chromosome, telomere is there, and that telomere prevent the fusion of the nearby chromosomes. Then the enzyme telomeres, telomeres are synthesized by a special type of DNA polymerase enzyme. That DNA polymerase enzyme called as telomerase. That telomerase enzyme return or control the synthesis of the telomere sequences. And this telomerase enzyme catalyze the telomere sequences at the end of the DNA. Here we can see this is the end portion or the missing DNA on the lagging strand, and this is the telomerase enzyme, this green colored enzyme, that is a telomerase enzyme, and that brings the additional sequences, and synthesize. Here we can see this is a end is unreplicated, this is a unreplicated end. Here is a telomerase extend the unreplicated end. This is a telomerase enzyme, and again telomerase extend the unreplicated end. Here also the telomerase enzyme also or again extending the unreplicated end, and lagging strand is completed. Means this telomerase enzyme triggers the synthesis of the telomere. The telomere actually present at the end of the chromosome. Then formation of daughter DNA molecule. After the having the termination, there two daughter molecules are formed. Each old strand produces two new strands or two daughter DNA molecule. At the end of the DNA replication process, two identical DNA molecules are produced. Here we can see two identical DNA molecules are produced. In each newly formed DNA molecule, one strand is old and other strand is new daughter strand, which are complementary to each other. Hence, this type of DNA replication is called as semi-conservative replication. Let's see this figure. This is a semi-conservative DNA replication. This is a blue colored parental DNA molecules, and after having formation of these two DNA molecule, after having the replication of this DNA parental DNA molecule, here we can see one strand, blue color strand is a parental one, and one newly formed daughter strand is yellow colored ones. Means half portion or half strand is parental, half DNA strand is daughter. Means the half genetic information get conserved. That's why the name semi-conservative. This is the first replication generation. As far as the second replication is concerned, here we can see two completely new daughter strands are formed, and two semi-conservative manner the replication is take place after the second replication as far as semi-conservation is concerned. Then conservative replication, after the first replication, two strands are formed, no doubt, but one DNA molecules is showing or having the parental strands and other DNA molecule is completely new one. Then dispersive. The dispersive replication in which the two newly formed DNA molecules having the fragment of the parental strands and fragment of the daughter strands. Here we can see yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue means dispersive way. Some portion or some fragment of parent strand and some fragment of the daughter DNA molecules. This is a dispersive way. Why is DNA replication is important? It takes place during the cell division and it enables the multiplication and division of DNA by making two copies of the genome from a single parent genome. And therefore, its importance is in the creation of new and next copies of the DNA that give rise to two daughter cells from a single parent cell. If mitosis is there, two daughter cells are formed, and for each daughter cell, there is requirement of the completely new or requirement of the DNA, and that is fulfilled. That requirement is fulfilled by the DNA replication process. Each new cell is formed with its own genome. This enhances the heredity via reproduction and cell division. Deliberately, I have kept this slide. The DNA replication key players or DNA replication enzymes. Helicase, we have discussed earlier, helicase unwinds or break the hydrogen bonds which are present for the pairing of the nitrogen bases and that unwind the two strands of the DNA. Then DNA polymerase enzyme that triggers the extension or formation of complementary strands. Then primerase enzyme that synthesize the primer and that primer guide the DNA polymerase enzyme to act at a proper way or at a proper place. Then ligase enzyme joins the fragmented or Okazaki fragments and there is formation of lagging strands. Let's see the summary of the DNA replication. Firstly, helicase enzyme unwinds the parental double helix. Here is the helicase enzyme that unwinds the double helix. Then molecules of the single stranded binding proteins. Here is the single stranded binding protein that stabilizes the unwounded template strand. Then the leading strand is synthesized continuously in 5' to 3' direction by DNA polymerase enzyme. This is a DNA polymerase enzyme that triggers the synthesis of the leading strands. Then primase begins synthesis of the DNA primer. Here is the primase enzyme that trigger the primer activity. Then DNA polymerase third is completing the synthesis of the lagging strand. Then DNA polymerase enzyme first that removes the primer. This is very important. The primer is removed by the enzyme DNA polymerase first, and finally DNA ligase bond the 3' end of the second fragment to the 5' end of the first Okazaki fragment. That DNA ligase enzyme joins the two Okazaki fragments and give rise to the formation of complete lagging strands. Thank you, friends. I request all of you, if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you not subscribe my channel Raj Botany, please do subscribe it, and please do not forget to press the bell icon for the updating video. Thank you very much.